All right, share my screen. All right, can you see my screen okay? Make sure I'm on, yeah, that's good. All right, welcome everyone. Today we're gonna go through what we've been working on for a few months now. Just trying to get something for you guys for the end of the year. It's one of the main features that we've been working on and we're quite proud of it. So you just want to showcase this for today. Again, this is not a training. This is purely to showcase what we've built, but training, we're going to organize another one for next week. So it is live at the moment and you guys will be able to play with it after this session. I just want to go through the quick agenda of what I want to be discussing today. So as you know, everyone has used this static portfolio in the past and it's been doing its job. But what I want to run through quickly is what's currently there and its current limitations and what I've discussed with Jen in the past of how to make this better for all of our centers. I want to go through the learning document, the platform that we've built and how we can utilize it in each individual centers that you have. Also, we built templates, which Jen helped out quite a lot on this one. It's basically templates that you all be able to use so you can construct your learning documents quite quickly. I want to quickly brush on through all of the data that's collected with the learning documents. This is completely new to you guys, so what I will brush through it, but if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer it at that point in time when I'm going through it. And then I'll go through a top to bottom of a demo of the product using the portal and also our an Android emulator that's running on my machine. And finally, at the end, we're happy to answer any questions that you guys may have. So let's get started. So with our current portfolio, you guys have used it. It's been doing its thing for quite some time now, and we've had a lot of voices from many centers regarding its limitations and the pain points that you all have. And we've embraced all of those pain points and built a platform now that should hopefully capture all the requirements that you need as part of the way you run your center and also documentation for all your children. So the key issue that we've found here is with that portfolio type, whether you have your observation, learning story, portfolio, amongst other ones, they all look the same. So as much as you wanted to customize it for the way your centers work, it was fairly difficult to differentiate between the different types. One of the key problems in here that Jen mentioned was if you're looking at some of the text, for example, observation, there may not be words that your centers actually use. So you'd be able to customize all of those fields. And also there could be fields in here that you guys would actually want to break out. For example, oops, just get back a step. You got reflection evaluation as an example. Your center might break that out into 2 different text boxes. So now you'd be able to do that. And also the data that gets posted into the app, it's quite limited to whatever's keyed into here, but now you'd be able to customize that as well. So parents will be able to read quite a lot more information regarding each one of those portfolio posts. So with the learning documents, you can see already here, this is a conversion of the exact conversion of a portfolio. But you can see it's all broken down into the different sections, and you'll be able to customize that yourself as well. You'd be able to move each one of these sections up and down, and text boxes that are missing, you can add your own, or you can remove yourself some of those text boxes as well. And there's a lot more controls that's available, which I'll show you guys in the demo. So with these, centers can build their own right from scratch. But again, we've prepared templates for you guys, which I'll go through as well, to make your life a little bit easier and also be able to build your own template quicker. So with majority of these, all of the text that you can see on this form, whether it's the text on the label, the text inside the they call placeholder text, and also there's the help text that could show up on the form as well that people can hover over to get more information. So that would help out your educators on what type of information they should be keying in there. Also, there's a ability now to mark fields as mandatory. So if, for example, you wanted some of these text boxes to be filled in, so they're not left blank, then you'd be able to turn those on. That way you'd be able to control what type of information that you definitely 100% require when filling in any of these learning documents. All of these fields, again, you can remove, add and remove them, move them up and down, and I'll show you guys how that all works as well in the demo. And in the post itself, you can customize which fields that people have keyed in, or educators and staff that's filled in, to go into the post directly. So whether you want reflections to go in or not going into the post, you'd be able to turn those on and off. And this is the new printout that you can also customize what goes into the printout. You can remove some of these learning frameworks if they're taking up a lot of room, and headings as well. If there's any other headings in there that you wanted to add in, you can customize those. So this is good. What we've built in here is you'll now be able to separate your learning documents to a single child or multiple children. So with our current the static portfolio, where the ability to add multiple children is great, but the issue that I've found and I've discussed with Jen is that when there are a group of children that's been keyed into an entry, and you've added additional learning framework against them, it's hard to marry up which learning framework or which value that's been allocated to which child. And I'll go through that issue that I think will make a lot more sense in the demo on what I mean by the focused child and a group when building a learning document. So now that you have the ability to create as many documents as you want, you'll be able to create a daily entry or a weekly or a monthly. So you'll be able to compile quite a lot more without utilizing, without messing up any of the data that's being collected. And one of the other features that we've got in there is a head office can create the portfolios or observation document and share that amongst all the other centers. So the head office can control how the document would look and the data that's being captured as well. This would be great for head office reporting. And yeah, customize endless. I'll show you in the demo on how much you can customize. And there again, there's only so much time we have for this webinar. I'm going to go through a lot more fine detail when we do a training next time I organize one. Most probably going to be next week. Okay, so we've got 5 pre-built templates at the moment. There are probably going to be a lot more that we'd want to add in the future, but these 5 is what Jen deemed as necessary for centers to be able to get started quickly. So we have our own observation template, a learning story template, a standard portfolio, a follow-up, and also a work sample. Again, if any more additional templates that you guys foresee down the track, we're happy to discuss that with your center. And again, once we do create a template, it is available for everyone. So if there's something that's a template that you guys want to use specifically for your center, maybe that's something that you guys can create from scratch and share that amongst your group. Okay, with reporting, again, these screenshots may not show much, but I'll probably go through these in the demo a bit more detail. So with every entry that you've created currently, you have no ability to grab those information and export them into Excel. So what we've done now is with every document that you guys create, you'd be able to, okay, sorry, my I was getting notification on my PC. Sorry about that.
I'm sure I can.
Yeah. So the data that we've received
Sure, I can find it.
each one of these are post entries.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to capture and export all of the data. And also every field that's been created in the template, you can turn them on and off and export those into
Why does it have to be so complicated? Why can't I just click on a child and be able to access their parents? Boom. You got to choose the child versus the account.
I can hear someone talking. Just if you could please mute, that'd be great.
It's so annoying that it has links.
Yeah, is that all right? Okay. So with these reporting, again, I'll show you guys on the real demo on how all these work. But in essence, you now have control over the data that's being created. You can export them and do whatever you need to do it, whether in Excel or any other platform that you guys use for data reporting. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly jump into a quick demo. All right, so this is running currently on my computer and it is available on the portal now, but the menu may have changed. So the link is available under learning documents. And within the learning documents, this is where you would start creating your own document. So in this case here, I'm just going to create a new one. These are a couple that I've created in the past for testing. Okay, so you'll notice in here, this is where it's a blank slate. So on the right-hand side, you'll see that there's items that's highlighted in blue. These are the templates. And the ones in yellow, they're called sections. They're basically just parts of different section of a full template. So I'm just going to quickly create an observation form. I'm just going to turn that to active so that way it's available on the portfolio screen. So here I'm just going to use the observation template. And as you see, these are all the different fields that you can customize. You can change all of the text in here, the title, any of the help text. This is the help text. And that's the text that will pop up in here for your staff to be able to read if there's any additional information in there they require in order to put in the correct information in any of these fields. So you can drag all of these up and down and mark things as mandatory if I wanted observation to be mandatory. I'd be able to turn that on. So when staff are entering these, that they have to fill in these fields. So again, using the templates, you can easily see how quickly it is to create your own and update any of the information that you need to update to match the language that you guys use in your center. Okay, so that's my little template that I've created. What just click save. And this also has this preview screen in here, so you get to see what it would look like when you're adding a new portfolio or a new entry for this type of document. So I think majority of the centers won't be using the word portfolio. I don't think majority of them told us that it's not the word that they would use. So this, have the opportunity to start naming a lot of these, the titles, the name of the fields to the language that your centers use. All right, so now that I've created a new learning document, I can click up here to view all of the submissions. At the moment, it's brand new, so there aren't any. And the only time that you're able to permanently delete a form is if there's no entry against that portfolio or that document. So at the moment, I can permanently delete this form if I don't need it anymore. But the moment that I add a new submission to it, I won't be able to delete this form anymore, but you can archive them so they're not available. So this form, you can either drill down into the learning document, hit add up here, or the usual way you add portfolio, which is in the add portfolio screen. So if I click add, by default, this loads our static portfolio, but what you'll see underneath, it will start showing all of your custom ones that you've created. So in this case, I've got my daily portfolio. I'll be able to click on that, and you see here my help text will pop up in here for the title, since I've added one in. And if I quickly show, okay, so this is one of the things that I wanted to mention before about focused children. So as you can see here, I've got a child selection box in here where I can click multiple children. And the reason why I've raised this an issue with Jen was, again, not having a full understanding of how centers would normally use this, is the question I had for Jen was, if there was multiple children in here and you allocate a learning framework against them, for example, developmental milestone, it's hard to marry out which field, which value that you've selected belongs to which child. So hence the reason why, as part of the demo, what I wanted to show you was, if you were able to create your own portfolio, let's say I modified this portfolio. I did call this focused, but you can see that there's multiple children. I can edit this form and turn the children to just a single child. So there's a checkbox in here called allow multiple. If you disable that and hit save, and I go and add a new portfolio. This is now a focus to that one child. So now you have full control over how the portfolio is going to be built. So there'll be a big differentiation between a group portfolio and also a single child. So that way, all of the information in here, whether it's the text or the learning framework, is focused solely on that child's development. So when reporting, it's a lot more accurate. So that way you can report more on a group-based type of portfolio or a single child. So in this case here now, this portfolio is focused fully on a single child. Okay, I'm just going to complete this form. I've just got some dummy text that I've keyed in here, so I don't have to type in. Yep. Zoom in a little. Is that better? All right. So all of the fields still available in here, which you've all seen in the past in the static form. So you can customize all of these, whether they're going to be required or not, or remove them completely if it doesn't relate to your centers. So, but we've left them in the template, as you see in here. But if, for example, if you're not using QKLG, not in Queensland, then you can remove that field altogether. I'm just going to randomly select a few in here so you can see how it shows up in the final print. All right, so at the moment they hit publish, everything is still standard as you guys would normally work. At the moment, all of the post gets created, but you'll notice in here the text that gets put into the post, there's a lot more information in there compared to what it is in the past. So again, I'm going to go through that in the training next time, but there is a field that's currently turned off. I'm going to turn it quickly on now so you guys get to see. There's a field in here called show field in post and show field in print. What that does is you'll be able to turn on whether that value that gets entered into the observation gets shown in the print and also gets shown in the post. So you can see observation has been turned on for this, and that's why the observation text also gets displayed in the actual post. So the print preview would now look like this. So you guys can print this off, and if there's any value in here that you don't want to show up, you can turn that off as well. So if we go to the post in the app, this is what it would look like. So now there's a lot more information that the parents will be able to see. And at the moment, we haven't got a native editing functionality within Android and iOS, but you will still be able to edit custom posts within here. And it does load up on a web view. So everything else can still be edited. If you wanted to upload additional photos, or update any of the text, I'm just gonna update that. And now the document's updated within the app. And there is ability to add in here as well, but we will be working at turning this into a native solution down the track. So this, when you click add, it will bring up all of your live document that's available, and you can click on that and fill it in as you were filling it in, similar to what you're doing on the portal. Okay. So once posts are created or entries are created, you can either view them in the post as a feed of all of the posts currently in here, and you can also filter down of any post relating to that type of document. So now this will only bring up that one. This is brand new. There's only one post against it. And there's also another way of viewing the data. Okay, so that's on the post level, and on a data level, you'd be able to drill down into the document itself and view all of the data that's been entered against this daily portfolio. So you can turn on any additional fields that you may need to see, and if you wanted to export them into Excel. So now you'd be able to export all of the data against that document. All right, so the other additional information in is we've got this pivot table, which again, I don't want to get too much in detail. All it does is you'll be able to graph out the results. I don't have any, these are purely text values at the moment, so I won't be able to graph any of the information. And there's not enough information in there. I might have actually I do have some old data in here. Maybe I'm able to test. All right, this might actually work. So this form, I added this field. It's called the child's happiness. It's a star rating. So you'd be able to collect numerical information in your form itself. It doesn't get posted into the actual post, but it's data that's collected within the form itself. So if I was to create a new portfolio, with that star rating. So you'd be able to collect numerical information on on the child's happiness, if that's something that you guys want to capture in your forms. And when that data is captured, I can turn it on in here, child's happiness. And these are all the value that shows up. So I will be able to now graph, let's say I want a bar chart. There's only one child. Child's happiness. So again, there's a lot of customizations that can be done in here, but that's just a little play on how you guys can utilize the data that you've collected. So over the weeks and the months, in the years, there's going to be a lot of data collected in here, and you'd be able to report on them any way you want, whether you're using the internal tools in here or within Excel or Power BI.
No, everyone wants you.
Okay. Just going through my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, no, I think that's it. That's it for the demo for the learning document.